Good morning. Yep, still getting to a more, consistent time frame. Anyway, oh well. It's Thursday. We had a great time at Bible study the last couple days, or 2 times yesterday. It was awesome. Um, had a great Reuben at the Flying Pig. And a pretty decent hamburger at Dixie Express. So it was a good day in Asheboro. Acolyte training this Saturday. Be there, be square. So all kinds of fun and games. Men's club tonight. Should be fun. It always is for me. I enjoy it very, very much. All righty. So let's get cracking. Today is the 6th, Genesis 8:21. The Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of humankind, for the inclination of the human heart is evil from youth. So why punish the one thing when it's the other thing that's causing the problem, right? Well, in our very warped society, we go for the weakest link, and we don't seem to be too terribly worried about assessing blame to innocent people as long as we know we can dominate them. Okay. So God's looking at the earth, okay, the ground, and he's going, it's not the ground's fault. It's man's sinful nature. So, kind of our fault. You can attribute most long-term things that go wrong with the environment to the intervention of man. Okay. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That's just speculation on my part, and I have no idea if I'm ultimately right or not. Okay, John 3:17. God did not send the Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Okay, that use of world does not mean the actual world. It's talking about humankind. So, sometimes, like last night, you have to kind of keep reading for contextual accuracy. And sometimes it doesn't make any dang sense. You've got to maybe look at a couple different translations, look at the whole chapter. You can't pull one verse out of context, all right? And it's the reality is salvation the world here is humankind, okay? Earth salvation is a byproduct, but earth as we know it's going to be destroyed, and there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. So that doesn't sound very saved to me. So we have to go with the world here in the context being humankind, and that doesn't fit with the Genesis 8:21 text as well if you look at it the John text properly. However, if you're going to misinterpret world as earth, ground, then yeah, they go together. All right. What's more important, salvation of dirt or salvation of human souls? Sorry, I'm a narrow-minded theological conservative. I don't buy into all the crazy interpretation stuff, but there seems to be a lot of it out there. God bless them. Okay. Son of God, thank you for your most amazing love. I have joy in my heart and praises on my lips because my hope is sealed in the blood of Christ. Though my human heart is inclined to sin, thank you for the promise of redemption. Take my joy and let it be hope for people I meet today. It's a wonderful thought. It's a very positive prayer. We need more of them. Okay. Keep Joe and Karen in your prayers. Joe's recovery's a little rough. Maybe somebody needs to go over and motivate him. Um, Karen is going to have a redo on her knee. Not a total redo, but correction because her healing process is not going well. Okay. Um, and there's just people we need to pray for. So there. Okay. Sorry, sound like an old man. All right. Today is the 6th. Mr. Tebow. Oh, this is a good one. Tame your tongue. Okay, James 3:5. The tongue is a small part of the body, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest fire is set aflame by such a small fire. Californians would agree with you right now. Okay. Living on a farm while growing up kept things interesting. I'll never forget the time the weeds had grown like crazy in the pasture, and Dad decided to start a controlled burn to get rid of them. I see trouble already. Apparently, controlled is in the eye of the fire starter, especially when one forgets to place a forewarning phone call to the forestry department. We knew something went wrong when Dad rushed into the house frantic. Help, I need everyone's help, he yelled in a panic. Turns out our pasture was on fire. In fact, the fire was moving fast towards the woods, staring at orange and red flames licking up towards the sky. We bolted into action, beating the edges of the fire with shovels while Dad tried to douse it with a gushing garden hose. Through the grace of God and our efforts, the fire eventually died down. Though it had burned through the weeds in our neighbors' fields, our house was untouched by the flames. Afterward, Dad, in his inimitable way, used the opportunity for a teachable moment. He led us in a brief Bible study on James 3, in which we learned that just as a small spark can start a huge fire, an uncontrolled tongue can breed great damage. Gossip, passive-aggressive comments, jabs excused under the guise of sarcasm will bear much power. Be intentional in how you use them. Have you been gossiped about? If you're a pastor, it's a national sport. You get gossiped about. Your whole family is under examination and sits in the fishbowl. How does this motivate you not to do the same thing to someone else? Well, being a human being, when I find out somebody's gossiped against me and been very negative about it, it's really hard, and I often fail not to do likewise. Okay. As a pastor, you get kind of tired of people pounding on you and your family just because you're a pastor or because you say something that they disagree with when they've called you to be the spiritual expert. Not that I'm always 100% correct, but if I'm incorrect, I'm going to admit it. Okay. But to sit there and go, well, I just don't think you're correct. Well, I don't tell you how to do your job. You invited me to do mine. Let me do it. Just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean that it isn't true. I mean, when your parents told you no, did you go, oh, thank you, mom and dad? You're so kind, so nice. I just am so glad that you have my best interests at heart. There was no resentment whatsoever, right? Okay, Pinocchios. I see your nose is growing out there. Okay. Anyhow, just, kind of cool. I'm really grateful that St. John's so far is not a gossipy group. All right. You seem to have your head screwed on straight. Ish. Okay. Going in the right direction. Let's do things for the glory and praise of God, not for personal agendas.